The discussion I laga nutun episode de sobke swagat kuri ase. Moi ase apni kan la host Azin Jamir. The discussion I de aji mokan substance abuse laga upar di kota kriyo kuntu Nagaland laga present scenario de young generation kan drug addiction de bishi kiri gina ase. Rubin Sharma, DGB Brazen Bra recently ekta shocking statement dishe ki 30% of the Nagas kandu drug user ase koigina. Ito ekla nohoy 2019 saal de Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment bra ekta data collect rishe aro ito de 4.7% aro 6.5% Nagas kando cannabis aro opioids users ase koigina jani paishe. Ito laga topic upar di kota kriyo karne mokan logo di ahina ase ekta brave aro influential individual kun bra pacha time bra tai addiction laga involvement tagishe hulibi itia tai recovery process ti ase ito la upar di tala journey talaga stories ito an kota kriyo so mokan logo di ase Neli Joseph. Thank you so much mokan la show di ayado apni kinika se firstly
balase
मुकान मुझे अपनी ला जर्नी का कोता कोई ना चले करने I'm so excited कि अपनी किन्या recover हुए addiction किन्या involve हुए तो अनला सब कोता कोई जाओ होली first मुझे जानियो मुंजा दो अपनी drugs तो किन्या का वरना life ते introduce कुछ
Thank you so much Global Window for inviting me in your show. It's a very great privilege for me, and before I start I would like to introduce myself. My name is Neli, recovering drug addict, and it's entirely by the grace of God, God's fellowship. I am clean and sober today. Aro, my drugs te kiniga introduce ushe itu share kuro ko shigle do. It was during my high school days. Na, I started with mood altering chemicals, the small substances like. It could sada na tobacco, nicotine. Ito han bra suru kurishe.
Acha, man young age day na.
Hoy. It was during my class 3 to 4.
Oh, 3 to 4.
Around class 3 4.
Okay, okay.
So these are the small things I started using, and during my class 8, 9, 10 days, I started. I was introduced into alcohol. Alcohol and then dried and. Then dried alcohol, weed, and there were other substances. Iniga they introduced ushe out of curiosity suru kurshi to kaule. And then I started using weed on daily basis, and I slowly got used to it na. And finally in the year 2017. I was introduced to drugs. That is, as we were mentioning, opiates, na? Are commonly known as sunflower, which is also a byproduct of heroin, and it's very highly addictive. I got introduced into drugs through my friends. Out of curiosity, I wanted to try, so I started using, and this went on. I thought these drugs, I could be able to manage and quit it someday. But the problem went on from far, dur huina jaisi the problem do na. As my addiction went on deeper and deeper, I found it very difficult to overcome this.
Ekpar, you know, like ekpar gusisha gujade, it's very difficult na aro Allah karne na. So like, apni ito drugs first days, apni kuch na ki curiosity but days kuch na. Apni to kun ki kila influence par, was it like friends na nijor la influence par, ini kurishna na kini kase?
Moi nijor la influence par ko because I wanted to try na, and at the age I wanted to. Make myself look cool na in front of my peer group, peer circle. So nijogi cool dikhaole, coolness dikhaole. Without knowing the consequences, I started using. I got into drugs.
Aro, you know, Western culture la influence.
Yes, Western culture. Yes, very.
Yeah. So like apni la life to you, is there a particular point in life that like it addiction kurado or like compelled kurado in like particular point as na or like was it totally influenced la upar de ase?
There are many factors. Bishi as a factors can mala addiction they contribute kurado. One of the factor is during my high school days na I was a failure in my academic session na. I think I don't remember, but 3 to 4 times I failed during my high school. So out of failure, out of depression, I was unable to handle the situation. So I would always try to skip the reality by going into some kind of mood altering chemicals, which I mentioned. It could be dendrite, alcohol. I was very much interested in this kind of things. So I finally landed into my addiction, that is drug. So
apni drug addiction la first experience to kinya tagishe?
I cannot deny the fact that drug addiction, drugs using though, it's very awesome. It gives us a very high euphoria na kick ekta bishi bhal ekta pai. And it's very bishi pleasure ekta ase drugs use kore. I cannot deny the fact. But after that, the consequence, it's far more painful than the pleasure I get. Consequences are very heavy. So this is what I experienced.
So apni kushi ki consequences to bishi difficult as na to consequences kan to kinya la take.
Okay, consequence la kushi ke the consequences are very unbearable na. Like trust issue jai family de, or relationship. There's got a relationship biao jai. My family members, they won't trust me, or they won't assign me in any of the responsibilities na. Tai kan muge trust na kuro jai. Kiba ekta kam hole bhi muge reliable person asi kuna look up na kure. Ina hoina society de hoji kule to, as you know, it's society de hoji kule to, they will look down. Aro moi society de face kuro na pare ho jai. Aro moi manukan ge lock kuro mon na thake inika ho ja bisi to. I try to escape from them. Rati te olawo na hole man ne dikha dem de. Chor nishna birao na inika ho jai.
Also society la kota ko kole to, social stigma take to, like
drug
addicts kana se kole to na. To apni itula de kina deal kurishe apni, of course rati de inya na hoje, but then personality we bishi affect kuri de shola na kina se.
Mala behaviors can be bishi change hoje. I started hating them na, because they also hate me, I also hate them. To conclusion din na ye mohan bhi ekta bhi ekjon junke biya kurna hi inika jai theki. So mala behavior affect kuro kule do, due to my addiction mala character defects kan botta ho jese, which moi desire na kure do character defects kan na moi bhi lole munai. But in order to sustain my addiction, I started behaving in violent manner ko le pare na hole biadat kan dura suru jese because of my addiction.
So Neli mujun kota kure na ahadam de apni rakonish na apni pacha dem bra shuru kurishe like class 6 7 to ito kinya na apni manage kurishe to drugs kan to kinyo le karne because expensive hola na, I'm sure.
Yes, it's very expensive. So initial stage of my addiction, there was not such a problem. My effort grow pari thakise. That is alcohol, occasionally use kore thakise to, dendrite, weed na. But once I started using weed too, it's affordable. It's not very costly. So somehow I was able to manage. But finally, when I landed into drug addiction, when I finally landed into drugs, it was tate problem to shuru hoise. Initial stage te to pari thakise manage kurle na. Holebi as my addiction went on, I started becoming unmanageable. Financially hole pare and holebi physically unmanageable bhi ho jese. Aro mala relationship can be unmanageable ho jese, family, friends. And in order to sustain my addiction, I even started peddling drugs. I go to my dealer lo de jawo jaigina moi tala saman khan sell kuri dibo
acha
aro ina kuna moi mala addiction to survive kuri dakisi aro sustain kuri dakisi aro aste aste ina kuna addiction to deep jai ase aro saman khan bi nijo ana suru jise
acha
nijo soft case koi mohan
acha
mohala sunflower la content the soft case te pai
acha
aro it supply the it comes from different corners jaluke ravi hai I don't know how they manipulate but hole jaluke rahe manipur rahe aro mon district na tagan ko dura ne najne but I have heard stories like khang they were bukina hai na
acha
tahan nodi par guna border bana this is the story I heard but which I'm not very clear hole indika ne guna khabar paise soft case it was around 20,000
20,000
yeah per soft case
all right
and depends on the available substance availability hisab te hi dam tage
acha
kitwa 20 thago it keeps on fluctuating kitwa 20 kitwa 25 kitwa 30 40 also depends on the place jaga la hisab te bi thagi jai dam do alag alag na to mala time de 20 25 30 35,000
which is so much na
yes it's very expensive
yeah
inika tagisi mula time de na dam do my using during my using days
acha so you know apni the drug peddler la kam koi dagisha so like Nagaland laga or just the Dimapur la scenario there since you have been there itu kinika se like addiction users kan to itula number holi like itula community de kiman no honchna se
okay to talk about Chumu na personally I am from Chumu so maybe ekta peddling kuri dagise drug peddler na in Chumu so in my experience I have learned and mala Chumu de kiman the population drug use kure na from the loose ends every corners I know because I've been dealing with the users na manukan I was saman lo and every day call center nisna busy thege phone do customer kan gar aina na so I used to be attending them eniga saman divo distribute kurbo aro nijo bi sustain kurbo ena thagi aro Chumu de saisukle the youngsters kan it's getting viral aro mokan la drug addiction la itu this wave na it's called second wave back in 90s 80s mala bawa kan uncle kan la time they were also drug addicts
acha
like SP users brown sugar users inika thagise holwe this is the second wave which started from possibly from 2015 in and around 2015 the sunflower was a new trend of drugs ajikali bishi trending there jedo to idige man second wave koi
acha
because the first wave is gone the second wave we just started it's very new and it's trending in our society not only in our society the entire northeast
yeah
so it's getting viral and many youngsters are getting influenced
konishna apni the drug peddling di bishi diri da kam krina ishna manena to like apni ekku regret asna nai because apni la hat very young users can be bishi you know manina takyo do to like life di itula kam gro to bishi ekku regret asna nai
yes obviously moi bishi regret kore aro itu moi during my treatment moi rehab te tha dem de mala course to 4 months la course thagisi do so idu course kure dem de I felt so guilty na bishi guilty feeling or realization moi karne kiman ta youngsters kan ge influence kurna tai kan ge addiction line de aijise it's all because of me itu kan karne regret kur dagise but at the same time maybe I accept that I am also responsible for their addiction but at the same time sab manu life the chance pai na recover hole chance pai and we have to grab it
yeah
एक बार chance pa dem de so this is
how beautiful the line is, na? Like everybody gets a chance to recover, to come out, na? And I'm sure viewers can be kun apni la story sa se ta kan be nijor la life ni reflect ro paro, not just in addiction but like life in general. To mujun aro apni la journey la upare kota khom jada kinar na apni when did you decide ki itu la addiction bra Allah ole la do kitya decide krushe?
I decide kushigla da moi pella ra charule munjai. But I keep on falling into the trap of addiction again and again. Every time I try to quit, I fall again and again. Moi giri thage, moi give up krule munjai because I don't want to live that parasite life na. Moi to karne bishi koshish kuriche hole I finally came to the conclusion that moi nijor pra parala noy aro gaw mungsu pra parala noy to addiction bimar do na. So my family members, they were also suggesting me to go for rehabilitation treatment. Treatment jaule kushe rehab te na. And then I, with much difficulty, with much courage, I decided to go. Alui tu najagi tu bishi postpone kurise kali kuna exhalo jise. And finally in the year 2020, I decided to join in Shalom Rehab na, which is in Chumukidima, opposite to DTO office. I admitted my family members. They admitted me in Shalom Rehab Center, and there I took the treatment. And finally, I learned something from the rehab, the values of life na. Moi kundu jaga de will learn kuro paro thakana. Shalom nishna jaga de learn kura nishna na. So there I learned something, and I'm very blessed to be here today.
तो आपने rehab la phase से detox जाओ ना तो इतना detoxification la phase तो कितना था was it challenging for you?
Yeah, it was a very challenging process for me. Detoxification days to mula nursery days kan yad kuri dise class A, class B time la nisna na because moi admit was ekta institution de. I even started crying like a baby, not like a cry baby when bacha khan nursery to join kure time te ta khan gor jao mun jai kuna alchi lage to. So the same feeling was going through me during my detoxification days, initial days of treatment na. The withdrawal symptoms I faced was very severe, like ekdam unbearable pain as day physically. Goosebumps olawo, shiver kuruwo, or sweat kuruwo, or button bi biya gundai thakwo. At the same time, hyper insomnia, or like body ache, body pain, restless like a snake na. Mohan damali ko na koi dekhe. Rati de tiger lion lo de fight kili thake na. Ina koi withdrawal time te. Bishi duk pai to ghumao na pare da. And withdrawal days, it was very hard time for me. I even started hallucinating na, hallucinate kuruwo or bishi duk thakise. But once I was also getting demotivated. To demotivate hua time de ini bhabna kuri thakise moi de charibo laise. I have to go through the pain. I have to go through the process, treatment process, because moi da rehab ta hala reason to incomplete ho. If I am unable to go through this process, moi kina recover ho guna self realization be aise. But it was a very hard experience, very tough experience for me personally.
So that was in the year
2020.
All right. So like it's already 2 years of the recovery process. So like, what's that one thing that keeps you from not going back to the addiction? Like, what's that something zeal in you that's not letting you go back?
My drugs use kure time there. My behavior was like pagala nisina, like insane behavior na. So which I don't like. Moi manukan nisina normal manukan nisina life to live kuru lemon se. I want to live a normal life. Aro insane but sanity da hiu lemon se moi normal life te. Itu desire kuri na moi aro if my recovery de thagi shukle to bal hole saman kan bishi ase like I will get married someday. I'll have my own children. I'll be able to contribute something good in my society. There are lots of reasons for me to stay clean and sober. Reasons can be ase moi clean and sober thagi ule lana idu kan bai moi boost up kure. I don't live for myself, but I also live for others.
Yes, exactly. And how inspiring your story is, na? So, much rap kring job, but then before that, drug users can do Nagaland the bishops or especially youngsters can bishu utias na. So, apne karne what would be the core reason inka bishu utia the mokal last day tiki ho na?
Ekta bishi dango reason ekta do it is easily accessible na, easily available. So, itu kile easily available asikle do from different corners of Nagaland. Check post kan de police kan nolevi could be defense personnel kan tai kan la carelessness prahi gushela je. It is not the problem is not with the drugs or alcohol anything, but the problem is with the accessibility na. To starting point de rai Nagaland de drugs kan smuggle hone gule do itu problem do mahan face kro thana do. Just to be very honest, that there were supply aha karni ekta bishi core reason ekta je do. Aro ekbar itu substance to use kura start issue kule do it just take 2 to 3 times for a person to become an addict. Dibar timber taste kuri shukule addict ho jai de. It's very highly addictive ko do highly addictive ase. And we cannot deny the fact ekbar use kuri she aro next time be use kuro munjai. Next time be use kuro munjai na. Aro bishi addictive ase. And it withdrawal ahule to just 3 days hi lage. Aro withdrawal do bodan khujai ase mangi ase do. And kha bishi de aram pai do. So this is the problem. Aro this is the problem why people find difficult to overcome this substance. It is substance overcome kule digdar pala reason ekta do tela withdrawal symptoms bishi high ase. Craves na craving bishi strong ase. So it will be ekta reason ase, core reason.
So like check post can they you know pass kridia especially like body ra you know like mga kan ito kan core reason na according to you.
Hoi aro tan supply kura la technique can be bishi manipulative ase. Kumba do oats la daba de na. They will unseal this what is called lid na. That the oats bitor de sab case dali dibo. And they will seal it back again. Aro inika jaga de ra ane tahan. So that is how it's manipulated. Aro mahala defense personnel ko shukle do in my opinion, okay, mahala check post te police thagahan bi careless kuri thakini. And I have seen and I have heard many defense personnel using this sunflower, especially the IRBs na. Mala customer kan thagise IRB kan. Aro tai kan ai dekhe tan la battalion de I have heard battalion de tai kan la kumba in charge kan brahi nijo battalion de bi bikai theke na. Enia khabar ase. That's the reality we cannot deny. Mohan reality ke se to deny grown up ro moi mala experience par moi jana hisab te ko ase. So nijo mohala defense personnel kan de bi inika thake kule do how is our society going to be? It's a very big question for the defense personnel can give a question asked for like that in my opinion.
Wow. So you know much na conversation to wrap up kro but apne ra condition truck battling la dunia de takadam di you have seen so many youths na apni la hat pra kining na kamanon and then it's still you know like relevant in the society also manuan itya we use Christo. So like do you have any message ki like apni the youngsters can get eco messages na and especially the one who are trying to you know like come out of the addiction eco message to us na
my message diule tha do to my youngsters, to my fellow friends who are still into using One drug use करे तो एक बार दो बार करने मजा पाए. But once you get addicted to this substance, मोहन कितने तो drugs addict हो जाए ना, itu pasti itu मोहन मजा ही ना पाए. And it's very true. आपने हम भी जाने थे वो. And once we are addicted into these drugs, we just take drugs to bring to normalize our body. मोहन ला बदन दो normal दे आने वो करने खाए. We मोहन high ना हो जाए. अरुणा once we are already deep into addiction, which my fellow brothers will be experiencing, निजोला experience पर जाने थे वो. itu बार-बार भावना करीना चाहिए बोले तो consequences kan बिशी ऐसे unmanageable lifestyle हो जाए और आगे दे share करें निचना कोई तो भी self respect भी loss हो जाए और family भी relation kan बिया हो जाए ना मानो trust भी ना करे हो जाए and people they won't rely on us for any responsibilities मुखान की भी assign ना करो ना इन्हीं का consequences kan face करे और मैं एक तब बिशी दंगो advice दियोले मन ज़्यादा मैं भी drug addict एक ता आसे और मैं quit करूँ ले पारिश के लिए तो अपने भी पारे हो ना if I can why can't you ना मैं भी पारिश मैं भी अपने निशिना दुख करिशे और मैं भी पारिश अपने भी पारे हो इतु ही कोले मन जाए.
Well, thank you so much, Neli. आपने मुझे ला show दे आही ना अपनी ला addiction ला life really overcoming वाला life recovery ला process kan turning point kan सब मुझे ला global window ला viewers kan की share करा करने बिशी thanks. और there are so many like recovery person kan भी बिशी से really nobody wants to come out ना because social stigma ताके कुआनिश ना really it's so brave of you to come out and share the story to our global window viewers and I really hope and believe that Neli Joseph laga story kan bra मुझे viewers can be young generations can we pura puri kan la we hoi ta la message ta la life la story to apni kan tak pi punching na takyo ko ne moi bishi bisas kore se amigan la guest Neli Joseph pragwanishna initial stage laga drug use to bishi fun aro enjoyable ase holibi addiction laga consequences to bishi dangor aro unbearable ase itu drugs to bishi bia substance sector ase aro students hui bacha hui parents hui government employees who live military who live kun ki bhi na chare itu arne viewers can stay away from the drugs as mokala guess for a statement ya nishna aro kun itu addiction bra suffer gore se apni gan mon chutu nohoi gina guess for kwanishna life they sob manu second chance pai aro at the same time value of life to realize korle bishi important ase koigina mi janai dia se aro mokan bi as a society ta kan gi discriminate na kuri gina love care aro support dile ta kan bi encourage ho and at the same time bishi motivate hobole ase and I really hope and believe that Nagaland will be a drug free state someday soon. This is Azin Jamir. For more updates keep watching Global Window.